Good afternoon, and welcome to Friday on Bad Dog Comedy TV, live on YouTube, and Stories with B. Please welcome your host, B. Bertrand.
Hi, friends. I hope you're having a nice day today. Welcome back to another episode of Stories with B. At the beginning of quarantine, I was trying to figure out how to do something that made me feel a little hopeful and a little less sad, and something gentle that I could hopefully offer to people. And I've always had all of the books, my kids' books growing up. And so I thought I would start reading a story a night and see how that went. And it kind of turned into this lovely community of people just kind of tuning in to hear a story. And so Bad Dog offered me this weekly show that I'm so excited and grateful for. And here we are. And each week I get to have a special friend on, and we get to chat about books and stories and growing up. And this week I have on a friend who I haven't seen in a while, and I'm very excited to catch up with him. He is a minister and a first responder in Toronto. Please welcome Evan Axtwit-Smith.
Hey, B. Thanks for having me.
Friend. Thank you so much for doing this. It's so nice to see your face.
Oh, it's so nice to see yours, and I love your story, so this is exciting.
Thank you. How's your day going today?
It's going pretty good. We just moved out to the country, and so we decorated our whole house for Halloween, but we're only expecting about 4 trick-or-treaters, so.
That's still really fun.
Yeah.
I like to start this off the same way. So I like to tell you and everyone, I hope you're having a nice day today, and I hope you're safe and warm and cozy, and that you all have all your special things. And Evan, I hope you have your special drink.
I do.
Cheers, bud.
Cheers.
I always tell people you need to have a special drink to come on, and I feel like I need to elaborate more because nobody knows what that means, and that's really fair. And people are always like, is it okay if it's water? And I feel like you're drinking water too. And all of the drinks are special. I'm going to move my chair a little bit. I haven't figured out this whole mirroring thing. There we go. So did you have a relationship with books and stories growing up?
I did. I was a total bookworm, and I was reading constantly. I'm also a very, very fast reader, so I can finish books very quickly. But I haven't read as much in the last maybe 10 or 15 years. Once I got into university, most of my reading was for school, but coming out of school, discovered that I actually have a love of children's literature. And so I often read books that are aimed at kids and teens, and absolutely love it.
That's so great. Do you have any ones that are special to you that you enjoy reading?
I think that Winnie the Pooh is amazing, like the novel. Never-Ending Story. I totally love the Lumberjanes. I have some of them here. There's novels and there's comics, and I love them because anyone who knows me knows that I adore summer camp, and I'm a Girl Guide leader, and Girl Guides has been something super important to me for many years. And I absolutely adore camping. I camp with my kids and with my family. And the Lumberjanes are a series of comics about a bunch of girls at summer camp and trans folks. And they often run into mermaids with punk bands and unicorns and all kinds of stuff. And I just love that they go on these adventures, but they're queer positive and like feminist centered and amazing. And they're great for, young kids like 10 to 12-year-olds, and also for adults. So
that's awesome. I've never heard of that. Are they kind of newish, or have they been around a little bit?
They've been out, I think, for probably about 7 years. The novels are new. And the cool things about the novels is they're actually written by Mariko Tamaki, who is originally from Toronto. And so I knew Mariko way back in the day. And so it's exciting to always find out that one of your favorite books is actually written by someone that you admire and think is wonderful.
That's so lovely. Those sound great. I definitely need to get some of those to read.
Yeah.
That's very cool.
Totally worth it. And they're coming out as a cartoon on Netflix next year. The same person who does them, who writes them, is the person who did the She-Ra remake. So it should be exciting.
That's so cool. It's always so great when I have people on and like growing up, I feel like we're probably around the same age, and none of this stuff really existed, or I didn't have or read any of it. And now there's so many different types of books about queer kids and queer families, and that's so lovely.
Yeah, it's funny because my partner and I were just talking about, because we have a 3-year-old at home, talking about how we need to sort of diversify his book. And she was pointing out that so many of the kids' books that we have have like all males in them and male representative people. And there's not nearly as many books with women, and that our queer books, we need more of them. But I was saying, like, back in the day when, my oldest daughter was young, the only books we had was Heather Has Two Mommies, which is, this very clinical description of lesbian conception. And Saturday is Patty Day, which is about lesbian divorce, which, although it's a really important topic, I felt kind of like it was just the doomsday of like kids' books. Like, of course you're a lesbian, so you're going to get divorced. And it's just like, queers getting killed off in movies. So it's good that there's, lots of amazing books out there now.
Oh, that's so lovely. Do your kids enjoy reading stories and stuff? Are they into?
Oh yeah. So the 3-year-old loves books. He always wants to read. We just went camping this weekend and had to bring like a giant cooler bag full of books, and we just sat around the campfire and read, and it was so great. Our 13-year-old daughter, she loves reading. She is reading the Twilight series probably for more than the first time, and absolutely adores it. So, we're a family that loves reading.
That's so lovely. Do you find that they are into kind of similar things that you were when you were young, or have they kind of branched off and found their own likes?
I think as they got older, my kids found their own likes. I was really big into things like Beverly Cleary books and Ramona and Beezus, and I'm trying to think of what else. I love Dr. Seuss. I used to get Dr. Seuss books in the mail every month, and that was very exciting. And so I think the nice thing about having young kids is that you can influence them and pull out Dr. Seuss and Franklin and all, the books that you loved as a kid, but as they get older, they sort of go their own way. And I wasn't as much into vampires and romance novels. So, although, what was it? What was the book about high school? There were like kids novels and then high school novels.
Babysitters. The Babysitters. Was there junior high, or am I getting that mixed up with Degrassi?
Sweet Valley High.
Sweet Valley High.
Sweet Valley High. I loved Sweet Valley High. I read the entire series probably 3 times.
I loved Sweet Valley High too. I was at this secondhand bookstore the other day, and I picked up a couple to like read in installments, hopefully. Because I never know the demographic of people that are watching, but Sweet Valley High was such a nostalgic thing for me. And like the Boxcar Children?
Yes, the Boxcar Kids. I have a couple
Boxcar Kids,
of them.
Yeah.
What was your favorite book growing up? I don't know if you've talked about this before.
No, I don't think anyone's ever.
I'm going to have my special
that.
drink and ask you a question.
I love that. I feel so unprepared. Growing up, I loved reading Berenstain Bears a lot. My favorite book. Oh, I have. Do you remember Leo the Late Bloomer?
No, I've never heard of it.
I feel like I need to lend that to you. It was this really sweet book, and the cartoons were like so simple, and it was this sweet little tiger. And I always swore I will one day get a tattoo. But like every page, I'm like, I want a tattoo of that. I want a tattoo of that, because it's this really sweet story of this really timid lion or tiger, and everybody's kind of pushing him to like be loud and be what a tiger's supposed to be. And he's like, just chill out, everyone. I'm at my own pace. And it's just like lovely tiger figuring out who he is at the end. And his mom is like so supportive, and like he's a late bloomer, like, let him do his thing. And it's just this really sweet story of him taking his time and figuring out who he is. And like, obviously I was projecting as a child when I'm like, I love this. That's so nice. Everyone's so supportive. But that was a great one. Yeah.
Do you have any tattoos of storybook things?
No, before all this, I had, I love this. This is so nice, Evan. This is really sweet. I had this whole, like 10 pictures, which I feel is ambitious, of really important pages in stories that I loved. And I wanted to incorporate that into a thing, which I'll send to you. Maybe I'll post them.
Yeah, do it.
Do you have any?
I do. So on my calf, it's only half done because of COVID. But I actually have like all the way up the side of one of my calves. In the Lumberjanes, there's a lesbian couple, Mal and Molly. And so there's this picture of them like sitting around a campfire. So I have that on my calf.
Oh,
And do you remember Harry the Dirty Dog?
I think so. It sounds really familiar, but I can't picture what Harry
It came
looks
out,
like.
so it came out in like 1946 or something. It's one of those books that just seems to have persevered. It's like it's a kid's book, but Harry goes out and gets so dirty his family doesn't recognize him, and then they do after a while. But on the front, there's 2 pictures of Harry because he goes from being a white dog with black spots to a black dog with white spots. And so I always thought that it would be cool to have those like on the back of my legs or something.
Oh, yeah, that's such a rad idea. I would love it if you don't mind if you could send me a picture of your calf, even though I know it's unfinished, because I
Yeah,
love when
totally.
people get tattoos for like, books that are special to them. There was one book that I remember I read a few months ago, and I was like, this is so wild that I coveted this book so much because it's really not the nicest story, but it's called Ira Sleeps Over. And it's interesting because the character, I'll post a picture of it. You can never tell what gender Ira is. And they're just this kid that has such bad anxiety about having the sleepover. And the whole time he's so worried. I mean, at the end of it, he just wants to sleep with his teddy bear or with their teddy bear and is like embarrassed of that being, they're too much of a baby because I think they're 10 in it. But anyways, I was like, wow, this story was like, I loved, and it was so important to me growing up. And then I was like, I had bad anxiety all the time. And it was really nice to read about this kid that, they're so little, but they still feel the weight of whatever that anxiety is.
Yeah.
Anyway, they had a great sleepover and everything was fine, but it's not the nicest story. It's just a story of a kid going to sleepover and being anxious and then being fine.
That's, I think, what I love so much and about kids' books and about like children's literature is that often it deals with, I think, so many of the emotions that we deal with as adults, but in really like easy ways, right? Like, because I think we still have those feelings, but if you read adult books about them, like sometimes I think it just complicates them more.
Yeah, I completely agree. Yeah, it is nice when you kind of read things back when you're an adult and you see all these underlying things and like maybe you realize now with learning more about yourself why you valued them so much. And it is nice the way they would write and very real feelings that kids don't really have words for.
Totally.
Yeah. This has been so nice and I want to talk to you forever, but I have to say goodbye to you now and I'm very sad about that. I'd love to have you on again.
That's okay. You know where to find me.
I do. It's been so nice to chat with you and to see you. And thank you for a wonderful little chat.
Oh, no problem. Thanks for having me.
I would like to say a very special goodbye to you, that Evan, I hope you have a wonderful day today and you've done your best and your best is more than good enough. And I'm proud of you and I appreciate you and I love you.
Oh, the same to you, B. That's so lovely.
Thank you, buddy. I hope you have a wonderful night and I'll talk to you soon.
You too. Thanks for doing
this. Thanks again. Thanks, Evan. That was lovely. And I'm just going to adjust this little thing here. There we go. All right, friends, buckle up. I wish I had a book about camping, but I don't. I'm going to get into that. And I definitely want to get those books that Evan was talking about because those sound really lovely and important. But for now, I have a really cute book for you from my friend Lindsay. Buckle up, friends. It's The Monster at the End of This Book. And I have to figure out how to do this so you can see everything. All right, let's get into it. I love little golden books. All right, so here's Grover. And he says, this is a very dull page. What is on the next page? Let's see, Grover. What did that say on the first page? What did that say? Did that say there will be a monster at the end of this book? It did? Oh, I am so scared of monsters. Yikes, Grover. Shh. Listen, I have an idea. If you do not turn any pages, we will never get to the end of this book. And that is good because there is a monster at the end of this book. So please do not turn the page. Well, Grover's face is so cute, but I think we got to turn the page, friend. You turned the page. Oh no, he's so upset. Maybe you do not understand. You see, turning pages will bring us to the end of this book, and there is a monster at the end of this book, but this will stop you from turning pages. See, I am tying the pages together so you cannot... Uh-oh. Sorry, Grover. You turned another page. I haven't read this book yet. Sorry, Grover. You do not know what you are doing to me. Now stop turning pages. We can't, Grover. We have a show to do. There. I, Grover, am nailing this page to the next one so that you will not be able to turn it and we will not get any closer to the monster at the end of this book. Yikes. All right, all right, all right. Do you know that every time you turn another page, you not only get us closer to the monster at the end of this book, but you make a terrible mess? Sounds like Grover has a lot of anxiety too. This will stop you from turning pages. A heavy, thick, solid, strong brick wall. I would just like to see you try to turn this page. Uh-oh. Do you know that you are very strong? Thanks, Grover. The next page is the end of this book, and there is a monster at the end of this book. Oh, I am so scared. Please do not turn the page. Please, please, please. Well, look at that. This is the end of the book, and the only one here is me. I, lovable, furry old Grover, am the monster at the end of this book, and you were scared. I told you and told you there was nothing to be afraid of. Oh, I am so embarrassed. That was a roller coaster, friends. Grover had a lot of feelings, got through it together, and then we all realized that monsters aren't scary. They're very sweet, and I hope that you enjoyed that book. Thank you so much for hanging out with me, friends. I hope that you have a wonderful day today. And whatever type of day you have, you did your best, and your best is more than good enough. And I'm very proud of you, and I appreciate you. And wear your masks and drink your water. And I would just like to say thank you so much to Bad Dog for letting me do this all the time. It is so fun and lovely and wholesome. And if you have, we're going to put a link down at the bottom. Crushing it, Sean. Thank you so much to Sean, too. You're such a wonderful tech, and I appreciate you every week. If you're able to, you can donate to Bad Dog. Everybody that's associated with Bad Dog works so hard to put out quality content, and everyone's just doing their best, and it would be really helpful if you were able to, if you could please donate. Wear your masks and drink your water. Be gentle with yourself. Be kind and proactive with others. Donate your time and energy and money where you can, and I appreciate you. I love you. Have a wonderful week, and I'll see you next Friday, friends. Bye.